I think the more visibility we have to those things, the more involvement you're going to get from the community.
Hmm.
And being a community is about involvement, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And we can't do that on our own. It's when we come together.
Hello, my name is Michelle Apoetica Richardson, and I'm here at PTV today interviewing a wonderful group of candidates for this present election here in the city of Peabody. And right now I have a gentleman here that's also running for office, and you are?
Tom Pappas. I am running for the Light Commissioner position.
So are you from Peabody originally?
I wasn't originally from Peabody. I came here about 20, 21 years ago, bought a house. I met my wife at the time, Gail Adamopoulos, and we got married. And I fell in love with Peabody. Of course, I fell in love with my wife first. And we have our home here. And we also have a son, Yanni Pappas, we're very proud of. He's a senior this year. He's a captain on the soccer team. He's on the varsity basketball team. So we're very proud of him. We really love Peabody a lot. And we give back to our community. We volunteer when we can. And we're just very proud to be here.
That's wonderful. So what is a light commissioner? What does a light commissioner do?
So in Peabody, we have our own municipal electric light plant. And we are able to purchase power from wholesalers that allow our power rates here in Peabody to be very low. Okay. So the commissioners oversee operations and decisions being made on the budget at the electric light plant.
Okay.
So this is something that I want to be a part of because I feel that I could function very well in government with my background and experience having worked in government.
Oh, so tell us a little bit more about that.
So about 10, 11, maybe 12 years ago, I started working on the Peabody Cable Television Commission. And I've been there ever since, and now I'm presiding over that board. And we are looking at different cable issues that may arise and making sure that our cable licensees are adhering to our license.
So you wear many hats.
Well, that's, yeah, I do. We do, yes.
So as a light commissioner, what would you bring to the table?
What would I bring to the table? Did I mention that I'm also an elected official? I'm a library trustee. I've also
a library trustee?
Yes, and I've also presided over that board. My 6-year term is finishing up, and I've decided that I want to go pursue the electrical portion of government, which is the electric light plant. I am an electrical engineer. I've been working as an engineer for since I would say in the 80s, and I want to take that passion and bring it back to the community and start giving back in an area where I work in a profession of engineering. I think I can contribute that way.
That sounds beautiful.
I know I can.
And it's kind of reigniting your original passion, right?
Yes. It's never been unignited. It's always been ignited.
That's wonderful to hear. That's wonderful to hear. So here in the city, we've had so many changes in these past couple of years. And I know the light plant has been under a lot of critique and, opinions and comments and things regarding this peaker plant and everything that comes with it. What is the peaker plant and how do you see that whole scenario?
Well, the peaker plant is a necessity. From what I understand, talking with light commissioners and the plant manager, is that during the peak hours, hence the term peaker plant, more energy needs to be put onto the grid. People come home from work, air conditioners go on, electricity starts getting used, and there is a demand that happens. Mm-hmm. When the grid starts demanding more power, ISO tells, I guess it's ISO from what I understand, that says the peaker plant needs to turn on. And that provides the extra energy. Without that, the system wouldn't function. It could break down. Okay. It could become overloaded and it could fail. So the peaker is a good thing from a technology standpoint and keeping people's houses lit up.
Now, I know that some of the concerns regarding this peaker plant are health related. I don't know, as an engineer, what knowledge you have on that, or if you have anything to say on that term, on that particular topic, because I know that a lot of people that are concerned because of the potential health risks.
Potential health risks. I don't want to talk without all my facts in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
but I do have some facts. I was told by, again, on the Lighting Commission board and different people, that the newer technology burns cleaner,
Okay.
from what I understand.
Okay.
And the older technology is 50 years old, to the point where you can't even get parts to repair that technology. And the newer technology is supposed to burn cleaner with today's technology. This is what I understand.
So kind of like an old car versus a new car.
I would say something
Yeah.
like that,
Okay. That
based
makes
on the
sense.
facts that we know now. So,
Okay. So I know that part of the concerns when it comes to the Light Commission and the reasons why the peaker plant exists, there's a concern for usage, correct? There's not enough usage, there's not enough spaces, there's other types of energies that are being consumed. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
well, there is a lot of usage going on, right, of
Mm-hmm.
electricity, and the usage is increasing. We're being more green, we're being more efficient with energy, but it seems that we are requiring energy more. And one of the items that is going to be taking more energy are electric cars and charging of these batteries. I mean, the energy in the batteries might burn clean once you have it there, but it needs to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
And we can control where that comes from, right? But the important thing is that if you do drive in to an area with your electric car, you need to put it in an electric socket to charge it up, so you can continue going to different places. And that's a technology that's not emerging, it's here.
Yeah,
It's
very
here,
much so.
it's going to be growing. And we have to look at infrastructure. We have to start focusing on things like that, to enable people to have an electric car and comfortably be able to drive different places without the worry of not having any energy. So
Absolutely.
that's something we should be looking at too. And I believe at this point in time, from some of the conversations I've heard, I think there's a grant for 4 electric charging stations for the city. I'm
Oh,
not exactly sure on the
that sounds
detail on that,
wonderful.
but it was positive enough to stick in my mind. So I think we're moving in that direction, but I think we need to move a little bit faster in that
Indeed.
direction.
Absolutely. Now, one of the things that we are dealing with a lot as a whole, not just in Peabody, but in the country, let's say, is accessibility, language, things like that. How, as a light commissioner, would you address things like that for people, the constituency, to be better informed in their own language? Because we have a very diverse community here in Peabody.
Well, I'm proud to say I'm the son of Greek immigrants.
Hey,
So
with a name like Pappas, you can't deny it.
I've got to tell you, I didn't realize that everybody didn't speak Greek until I was going to kindergarten. So Greek was my first language, and I understand the need for people to have their own language spoken. And I think it's important that there are representatives that are able to do that when people need to speak to somebody.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
I
since
think
we
that's
do have
important.
such a diverse community, I would think that it would be easy to find people who could help with that.
Absolutely. But, not everybody like you chooses to run. So I am thankful for that, because I, for
Thank
one,
you.
I am not Greek, but I am Spanish and I am first generation. So I too was an interpreter from birth. So I know what it's like, and it shouldn't be that way anymore. So for something like light and electricity and power, that is such an essential need, to have someone there that can communicate, I think is very important. So I think I'm grateful for that,
Oh,
right?
thank you.
And so this is something that people can understand, that they're going to have and see in the Light Commission with you there. They're going to have somebody there that's going to be able to communicate freely and openly in the language of many of the people that made history in this city. We have streets named after people that are Greek for very valid reasons. They gave their life for the city, for this country. So I think bringing that part back in every way possible is also very important.
Thank you. Can we talk a little bit more about transparency?
Absolutely.
What I think is really important, there's some things I've been thinking about, is that I'm televised when I'm doing a cable commission, whether it's Zoom or whether it was in person before COVID. I'm also televised when I'm on the library trustees. Electric Light Commission should probably be more, not probably, should be more transparent. And a way to do that, and I'm not faulting anybody for this, is that, but there's things that we can do to continuously improve. And what they're doing is very good. What they're doing is something that we always need to reflect at what we're doing, anybody, because you can do continuous improvement. Sometimes it's not needed. Sometimes you might come up with an idea. And I think that in this point here, we can augment their portfolio of good things by having better transparency and communications, by having it televised. So I think we can talk a little bit about that maybe.
I think you're in an extraordinary place to have that conversation because this is what PTV is all about.
Sure.
I think access to resources that we have available in this community is also something that's very important. I found out that the library has makerspace. You know, like these are things that are magical within the Greek community, within the Spanish community, within all the different beautiful communities that we have, little pockets we have in this city. There are so many artisans and craftsmen and people that just love to create, but don't have the means to do so. So imagine a city where everybody knows what they have access to.
I think that's good. I think the more visibility we have to those things, the more involvement you're going to get from the community. And being a community is about involvement, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And we can't do that on our own. It's when we come together. And that's what makes us stronger.
Absolutely. And I know that here we have many options for many things. There's a lot of opportunity and room for growth in this city. And I think unity is where it starts. Right?
Agreed.
Absolutely. Am I going to see you at the Peabody International Festival?
You will see me there.
Now, can you please remind the voters how they can find you if they want to have a conversation with you? Let them know where they can find you.
Well, they can call me on my cell phone. My cell phone is public. It's on the city government website.
Okay.
Look up my name and you'll see it there.
And are you comfortable with people asking you, giving you ideas, giving you suggestions, maybe giving you some input on present running issues at the Light Commission, at the Light Plant? Would you be okay with those things?
I'm absolutely okay with it. Part of being in government is listening to the people that you represent. And I think that's very important to take feedback from people. If we're not listening, we're not going to be able to help.
Everything is connected. The communication, the transparency, the language, all of it. So I appreciate you bringing all of that to the table as a Light Commissioner and as a library trustee. Look at you doing so many big things. We appreciate your time and your presence. And I think it's important that all of the candidates that have participated in this here today with us, with me, with Camille, PTV, I think it's important that as a constituency, you also take that into consideration. And when you go to vote, you know, look at these things because people that want to show up, show up. Not always, it's not always possible because life happens. Sometimes things are out of our control, but we do have an opportunity to show up. And when we can, and we do, it speaks volumes. So thank you again for being here today.
Thank you, Michelle.